And we are live in the Bronx at Fordham University as St. Peter's High School in Staten Island gets ready to square off with Iona Prep, the Gales of New Rochelle. It is the CHSAA Archdiocesan Championship of New York as the winner moving on with their eyes set on the city championship. So glad you could join us here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Lance Meadow with you as we welcome you in to our broadcast booth. Both of these teams went 16-2 in league play. They tied for first. Iona won the tiebreaker based on them winning the head-to-head on May 1st, 7-0. This is a different St. Peter's team from the one that was shut out a few weeks ago. So this is going to be an intriguing matchup. Two teams playing their best baseball, with Iona Prep riding an 11-game winning streak and St. Peter's winning 5 in a row. We will step aside. Starting lineups, first pitch coming up next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves. Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job of exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it, really. I mean, Varsity Media's been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions, I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
And we are back here at Jim Houlihan Park at Jack Coffey Field on the campus of Fordham University in the Bronx. We get set for Iona Prep colliding with St. Peter's in the Archdiocese of New York Catholic League Championship. Let's take you through the Eagles starting lineup. They will be the road team in this contest. Jake Levine, the third baseman, will lead off, followed by Joe Bello, who will be on the hill. There's no DH for St. Peter's. Anthony Caglia, the first baseman, will hit third, and the cleanup spot is Aiden Rosario. He'll catch. Frank Somo will man short and bat fifth, followed by Aaron Vasquez, the left fielder. Sal Frigilio out in right field, batting seventh, followed by Nick Rinaldi at second base, and Kevin Guzman rounding out the starting nine out in center field. This is a lineup that has four batters hitting over 300. And they are going to have to solve a very strong pitcher that Iona Prep will present. What was interesting is this game was supposed to be played here on Wednesday, but as a result of lightning and thunderstorms in the area, they postponed the game to today. So what that did was that gave both teams an opportunity to turn to their respective aces and switch gears with who was available on Wednesday. Tuesday was Iona Prep's graduation mass, so they couldn't play Tuesday. The game then was moved to Wednesday. Wednesday was pushed back because of weather. They couldn't do it Thursday because Iona Prep had its actual graduation, and that is why we wound up with Friday. So you can only imagine the jockeying and movement of the schedule over the last few days, and it turned out to be beneficial for both teams, as they now are going to have their strongest arms on the hill as they look to claim some hardware before they turn their attention to the city championship. And Iona Prep won the state title a year ago at St. John's. They knocked off Archbishop Malloy and Canisius, which was considered two upsets considering they were the fourth seed, whereas St. Peter's won this game in 23 and 24, so they're looking to conquer it for the third time in the last 4 years. And that brings us to the starting pitcher for Iona Prep, Gianluca Giordano, and you see his numbers. A sub-1 ERA. He has logged 39 and a third innings this season, and he's got a strikeout-to-walk ratio of 4-1. 40 Ks, 10 walks. And opponents are hitting just 155 off of Giordano. Jake Levine will lead off for the Eagles, their starting third baseman, one of several seniors in the lineup. And Levine, a .367 hitter this year with 2 home runs and 19 RBI. As St. Peter's did not score any runs against Iona Prep on May 1st. It was a 7-0 victory for the Gales. And talking with St. Peter's head coach Bobby Glenn Erster, he mentioned that it was a sloppy game from his perspective, where they had some mishaps in the outfield. The defense didn't back up their starting pitcher, who was sophomore center fielder Kevin Guzman, who's going to hit 9th in the order. And they feel they're a much better team right now, even though that game was just a few weeks earlier this month. They feel as if a number of things have come together. And this is a bit of a redemption tour for the Eagles. They knocked off in their last game on Sunday, St. Joseph by the Sea. That was one of their 2 losses. The other loss came courtesy of their opponent today, Iona Prep. And the first pitch misses inside to Levine. Bello and Gaglia also due up as the top 3 hitters. A swing and a miss there. 1 ball and 1 strike to the leadoff hitter for St. Peter's. And a chopper foul. It is very hard to solve the Giordano riddle this season based on the numbers we showed. And they are riding their workhorse today. Though Ryan Mahoney, the head coach of the Gales, has really all pitchers at his disposal, as that one is lined into center field for a base hit. And Jake Levine making it look very easy, leading off this game with a single. And already the Eagles have a base runner on, and Joe Bello has someone to work with, the other starting pitcher in this game. Bello just ahead of Levine with a .370 average this season. Hits for power with 3 home runs, 18 RBI. He leads the team in both of those categories. Two seniors in the 1 and 2 spot in the lineup. Then we'll see the sophomore Gaglia, as Bello will send that one into foul territory. This is a St. Peter's team that went 21-4 overall, 16-2 in league play. But when you are battle-tested game in and game out and have to deal with Iona Prep, that's why you settle for the number 2 seed. but a chance for them to maybe strike first here in this game and get that pitch count for Giordano up, who was so stingy on the hill this season. And Bello mistimes his swing there. So a 2-2 count to the lefty in the box with a runner on and nobody out in the top of the first inning. And Bello grounds one deep in the hole to short. They're going to throw to second for the force out and on to first, not in time, but they do get the leadoff runner out on the fielder's choice to short. So Bello is safe at first as we look at the defensive alignment for Iona Prep. Tran, Guzman, Malderi, Vandaloo left to right in the infield with Diaz behind the plate, and then out in the outfield left to right, Hogan, Kincaid, and Ceballos. As Guzman tried to jumpstart a 6-4-3 double play on that ground ball. But now there won't be a runner in scoring position as a result of the force out. And here is Gaglia, starting first baseman for the Eagles, and the breaking ball paints the outside corner for a strike. Gaglia will wrap up 3 straight hitters over 300 average-wise in this lineup. He's 348 coming in with a home run and 17 RBI. So each of them are in the teens in runs batted in. As Gaglia looking to jumpstart this offense and place some pressure on the likes of Giordano. As that pitch misses inside. Gaglia last year was on the JV team and gave them no choice but to call him up because of his stellar play. And a swing and a miss there as Bello, he grounded into a fielder's choice, and Gaglia now goes down swinging for consecutive outs. And we're going to take another look at Giordano bringing the heat for the first strikeout of the game, and 2 away here in the top of the first. And we'll now see Aiden Rosario, the cleanup hitter, another senior, 3 of the top 4 batters in their final years with the team. 262 average on the season with 1 long ball and 23 RBI. He has collected 8 doubles this season, so he can make contact and be a menace on the base paths. As the breaking ball works that outside corner for a strike. We have seen Giordano mix in his pitches in the early stages of this game. And that nearly hit Rosario on the backside. Initially, as Giordano throws over to first, and heading back to the bag is Bello. They were going to start Iona Prep Brandon Stabile, but as a result of the game being moved to today, that gave them the opportunity to turn back to John Luca. But we could see Stabile in relief later on in this contest. As Rosario working the count. Ahead 3 balls and 1 strike. This is a well-disciplined lineup. Rosario committed to Dominican College. He has been fantastic the last 2 games as he loses his bat. And that sails over the Iona Prep dugout. You got to keep your head on a swivel here at this ballpark as Rosario lost control of it. So I mentioned his production in the last 2 games. Hit a 3-run home run in the first round to solidify things against Xavier. And then against St. Joseph by the Sea was just as impressive. And Rosario had to wait his turn. He had a 3-year starter ahead of him. So he did not get many opportunities behind home plate as the catcher a year ago, but they just had an idea that he was suitable to take over based on what they saw in practice, simulated games, and so forth. As the runner goes, and it is going to be a free base anyway for Rosario. So now 2 on with 2 out for the 5th hitter in the lineup, Frank Somo, starting shortstop. Bello is at second, and Rosario, who gets on via walk, is now going to have a courtesy runner replace him, as that is going to be Yandel Munoz. Munoz, 5 stolen bases, 11 runs scored this season. He's a regular that they turn to in this spot. And Somo takes a strike on the outside corner. And Giordano is 1 strike away from wiggling out of this jam and keeping the contest scoreless. He already struck out 1 in this frame. Can he do it again? Yes, he can. Frank Somo strike oppose, the 2nd K of the frame. And Gianluca Giordano, as we take another look, perfectly framed by his backstop Diaz, keeps 2 stranded. As in a scoreless affair, we move to the bottom of the 1st on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Media.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Back here at Fordham University in the Bronx, the Archdiocese of New York championship on the line between Iona Prep and St. Peter's. Scoreless entering the bottom of the 1st. Let's look at the Gales starting lineup. Devin Diaz is the catcher. He'll lead off, followed by Julian Guzman, the shortstop. In center field is Sean Kincannon. He'll bat 3rd, followed by Luke Tran, the 3rd baseman, cleaning up. Jeff Maldery's at 2nd. He's in the 5th spot. Out in left field, Ryan Hogan, who will bat 6th. Tyler Wells, the DH, in the 7th spot. Connor Vandaloo at first base. He'll bat 8th. And Caden Sabalas out in right field will round it out. And there's Joe Bello on the hill. A .56 ERA. He has tossed nearly 50 innings this season with 63 Ks against 14 walks. Bello has been just as impressive, if not more so, than what we saw out of Gianluca Giordano this season. And here is Diaz heading to Miami, showing bunt and then pulling back. Could very well be an MLB draft pick when it's all said and done. As he is hitting .453 this season. Showcasing some power with 3 long balls. He has driven in 18 runs. And when he gets on, he is just as deadly He has swiped 33 bases. That's another reason why it's important for Bello to take care of business with a high fly ball into right field. And there to make the catch is Frigilio, and we have one away. As we look at the defensive alignment for St. Peter's, Levine, Somo, Rinaldi, and then Rosario behind home plate. And then in the outfield, Vasquez, Guzman, and Frigilio, who just made the catch, backing up Bello. As Bello now dealing with Guzman, the shortstop. This is some top 3 hitters in the lineup. They are all hitting 370 or better. Guzman is at 442. He's taking his talents to Maryland. They were all juniors last year when the team won the state title, and now trying to run it back in their senior campaigns. Guzman also has MLB draft pick potential. He's the quarterback of the football team, which just won their 2nd state title. A tremendous athlete who, just like Diaz, can swing for the fences with 2 home runs and 31 RBI, and he's right behind him in stolen bases with 29 as he sends this one into center field. Backing up is Guzman. He is there to make the catch, and we have 2 away. So a pair of fly balls wipes out the first 2 batters, and here is Sean Kincannon, the center fielder for the Gales. He is heading to Wagner. He leads the team in RBI with 39 this season, paired along with a 373 average and 3 home runs. So you can only imagine what these 3 top hitters have done all season long. And I keep emphasizing stolen bases because it's a bit of a double-edged sword if you put them on. Well, he is taking care of business on the base paths, 28 swipes. So they are all knocking on the door of 30. Put a lot of pressure on the opposing pitcher. And this is a lineup that doesn't get any easier because there are hitters in the bottom of the lineup that are in the 300 territory. As Kincannon falling behind in the count. Bello's looking for a 1-2-3 frame. And we showed you his numbers off the top. He has struck out 63 this season. As that is fouled back. We saw St. Peter's put a pair on in the top of the first. And Giordano, with 2 strikeouts, was able to escape the jam. It has been smooth sailing for Bello thus far. As this pitch is lifted into left center field, and heading over to make the catch is Vasquez. So each of the 3 outfielders recording out for St. Peter's. It's a 1-2-3 first for Joe Bello. A scoreless affair as we head to the 2nd on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media SPORTSCAST today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
And we move to the second inning here in the Bronx. Jim Houlihan Park, Jack Coffey Field. As we'll play into the night with both of these teams meeting for the second time and looking to capture the Archdiocesan Championship of New York here in the Catholic League, with both of these teams posting 16 and 2 marks in the regular season. Aaron Vasquez leading off for the Eagles, as we'll see the 6, 7, and 8 hitters due up. As Vasquez grounds one to short. Guzman fires off the run, and the bouncer is secured at first by Vanderloo. We've got one away. A really nice play by Iona Prep shortstop, who we saw take care of Bello with the fielder's choice to him in the first. And you're going to see charging the ball, scooping it up, and firing. Despite the low throw, Vanderloo did a nice job securing it. So here is Sal Frigilio, right fielder, and then Nick Rinaldi will follow. As Frigilio sends the first pitch into shallow left field, and apparently it is the Julian Guzman show here in the second as he records 2 quick outs. So both pitchers starting to settle in. And here is Nick Rinaldi, the second baseman, hitting .204 this season with 2 home runs, 9 RBI. As he swings at the first pitch, grounds that foul. They did not know where they were going to play Rinaldi this season, as that pitch misses low and outside, but he has been fantastic at second base. You talk to the staff for St. Peter's, they believe he's got Division I ability. It's just a matter of showing more consistency. But when he gets his bat going, the rest of the team follows. And they are very excited about what he could do with still another year to play. He is only a junior. There are 6 seniors in the lineup for St. Peter's. That one bounces in the dirt. And a nice job by Diaz to block it, though no runners on, so no immediate threats. And here we have Giordano looking for a 1-2-3 frame, and he is going to get it as he fools Rinaldi. 3 Ks for the right-hander, and each starting pitcher has been 1-2-3 up and 1-2-3 down in the last 2 frames as we move to the bottom of the second on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
Well, I've been working with Varsity Media for, 14 years. When we have video needs, whether that be a game, whether that be a practice, whether it be social media, it's nice to know that somebody understands what we're looking for without asking for it.
We started working with Varsity Media back in 2021, and since then they've been an absolute game changer, putting our event on the map. Varsity Media couldn't be a better partner, and if you're looking to optimize your event, I couldn't recommend them anymore.
It's been great for us. You know, the kids really get excited when they know that Varsity Media is going to be here. Not just what's happening on the football field, but all the excitement that's around it. It really boosts the environment here, and everybody gets really excited for what's going on.
Varsity Media is reliable, professional, and their quality work is fantastic. It's like watching ESPN. The announcers are unreal, really do a great job of speaking to the coaches to get the knowledge of the players, the season, what's going on with the team. There is nothing better than Varsity Media doing a live broadcast.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
We move to the bottom of the second here at Fordham. The Archdiocese of New York championship for the Catholic League with St. Peter's and Iona Prep scoreless. And leading off for the Gales is their third baseman, Luke Tran, with Jeff Malderi and Tyler Wells due up. Bello got Diaz, Guzman, and Kincannon all to fly out in the first inning. To right, center, and left. And now he's got to deal with a Hofstra commit, where we will actually be tomorrow for Game 1 of the Catholic League Championship Series on Long Island. So everything nicely falls into place here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And a grounded to short, and that is some missile thrown by Frank Somo for out number 1, and the first ground ball of the game induced by Bello. And speaking of that broadcast, you can check it out on youtube.com/Varsity Media tomorrow between St. Dominic and Kellenberg. And the time has been changed. It was originally scheduled for 1 p.m. It is now going to move up to 9 a.m. So breakfast and Varsity Media Sports Network. As you're munching on your Cheerios, you could tune in to high school baseball, as it never stops around this time of the year, as we are knocking on the door of June, and a lot of hardware will be handed out across the New York metropolitan area. Malderi, the second baseman, 254 hitter, 28 RBI. And you saw there Rosario trying to frame it, but to no avail. Malderi is heading to Anderson University, a D2 commit. A ground ball deep in the hole at short. Somo again fires, but this time not in time. It'll be an infield single for Malderi, but still an outstanding effort by Somo, trying to hook up with Gaglia at first. And you see, he went from way downtown in a great stretch by Gaglia, but it was Malderi who stepped on the gas. And now a runner on, the first base runner of the game for the Gales after Bello retired the first 4 batters he faced. And they are going to keep close tabs on Malderi. As Tyler Wells, the designated hitter, showing bunt, but it bounces foul. 277 hitter, 10 RBI, 21 runs scored. He is also a football player, so brings plenty of athleticism to the table. And Malderi getting that jersey dirtied. As Bello a little bit concerned about what he can do. And a strike taken on the outside corner. Malderi this season stole 9 bases, so you can understand why Bello is watching and making sure he doesn't get a head start. And once again, he's going to play a game of catch with Gaglia. And the top of the order, which I referenced in the first inning, very dangerous once they get on. You can't overlook the middle and the bottom. A ground ball to second, and they are going to get the force out at the bag as Rinaldi and Somo hooking up to take care of Malderi on the fielder's choice to second. So there was the flip to second base, and Somo doing a nice job putting his body on that bag. Ryan Hogan, the left fielder, hitting .324 this season. With Wells now going, and the throw to second is not going to be in time. So a runner is in scoring position with 2 outs here in the second. First, he was concerned about Malderi, and then Wells gets aboard, and you see him add to his tally. His 13th stolen base of the season, and that is big because if Hogan can come through with a base hit, we may very well have our first run of the game. And the breaking ball slides in on that outside corner. Bello trying to put up another 0 on the board and silence this Iona Prep team that shut out St. Peter's 7-0 in the regular season. And he fouls that one off into the netting. Hogan is going to do a post-grad year at Deerfield. He is a solid defender, has a really accurate arm as he lofts this one into shallow left. Backing up is Somo. Both shortstops have been tested, and they have passed the early tests with flying colors. It is still a scoreless affair as we move on here at Fordham on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
He's got room to go. Merrill towards the end zone. Lost his lid. Touchdown!
JJ Damo, face on, stay on athlete. Controlling the face-off. That's 3 in a row now.
Off to the third inning here in the Bronx. So glad you could spend part of your Friday evening with us. The start of a holiday weekend and plenty of baseball on full display. How about an Archdiocese of New York championship on the line here between St. Peter's and Iona Prep, with Kevin Guzman, the center fielder, fouling one off. 9th hitter in the lineup. Then we'll go back to the top with Levine and Bello due up. Guzman hitting .279 this season, a home run, 12 RBI, as he hammers one deep down the right field line, and this is going to curl foul. So Guzman, which I referenced earlier, he was the starting pitcher, the sophomore, in the regular season matchup between both of these teams, and was not backed up by stellar defense, and that's why that game got away from the Eagles. But here, the lefty now just solely focusing on his bat. He's got every tool you can imagine for a young player at his disposal. There's Giordano missing to even the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's that one again, fouled out of the park. Bobby Glenister, the head coach of the Eagles, says he's got the electric gene. And right now, he continues to swing at every pitch and make contact. This is summit bat as he's trying to wear down Giordano. And even though the numbers don't show it, he's got plenty of power. As again, another one into the netting. The Staten Island Ferry Hawks, the minor league team, that is the home ballpark for St. Peter's. So when they have had practices there, he's used a wooden bat and he homered straight out to center, which is 370. And this one is going to result in a fly ball out. There's great hustle there by Ryan Hogan to come in to make the grab, and that is the first out of the 3rd inning. And now we'll go to the top of the order with Jake Levine. He led off the game with a base hit in the 3rd, and then he was wiped out by Joe Bellows' grounder to short for the force out at 2nd. And Levine watches one enter the strike zone. Giordano has already struck out 3. Gaglia, Somo, and Rinaldi. And he jumps out to an 0-2 count. The right-hander with a 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio is living up to expectations. He has retired the last 5 batters he's faced. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and he gets him looking. K number 4 for Giordano, as Jake Levine is the latest to strike a pose, and quickly jumping out from behind home plate was Devin Diaz, who was very effective framing that one for the called 3rd strike. And the first pitch is grounded to 2nd, and the jump throw in time for Malderi. A 1-2-3 inning for Gianluca Giordano, getting tremendous support from his infielders as he has retired 7 in a row. We go to the bottom of the 3rd on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
This has been some pitching duel between that man on the hill, Joe Bello, as well as Gianluca Giordano, who collected yet another K. And this happened within the frame, which I was referencing, as you saw Devin Diaz just immediately jumping out from behind home plate. That was after Levine went down looking. He framed it, and he was so confident in the frame that he did not even wait for the umpire to get into his motion for the called 3rd strike. And let's take yet another look. Look at how quickly this happens. Boom, right out of the box. And then the umpire is able to take over center stage with a toned down third strike, I would say. Some umpires really get into it. They like to put a tremendous amount of emphasis behind it. It's almost like a little bit of a show, but here, they're not looking to show up any of the batters. Bello has thrown 25 pitches through the first 2 innings. As he goes back to work here in the third, the 8th hitter, Connor Vanderloo, will lead off with Ceballos and Diaz due up. Vanderloo, the junior first baseman, hitting .333 this year. He has started to come on as of late. And a ground ball right back to Bello, and he's going to take his time and fire to first for out number 1. Bello has only allowed an infield single in this game. That was to Malderi. Other than that, he has been able to keep this Iona Prep lineup in check. And now faces Ceballos, who is heading to Post University, a D2 commit. Swings and misses at that one. .242 hitter. In the win against St. Raymond's on Monday, they took that game 5-1. He had a huge contest, as he'll watch that fly in for a strike. He had a triple to help put the game away. And this is a 2-year starter who has legit lefty power as well. And I had the pleasure to cover this team as they won the state championship at St. John's last year. And at that time, Ryan Mahoney was very excited about what Ceballos could do the following year. And here we are. He has lived up to expectations. That'll keep this count alive. Bello has had to deal with a very dangerous lineup, but he has held his own, and he's a strike away from taking care of Ceballos, and 2 straight pitches misfiring on the outside. And this is going to be some workload for Bello today because unlike other teams, he is hitting and pitching. There is no designated hitter in the lineup for the Eagles. And a swing and a miss as he blows one by the 9th hitter in the lineup for his first strikeout of the day. And that is going to bring up Devin Diaz as we go to the top of the order. Joe Bello, smooth sailing, connecting with his backstop. Hayden Rosario. He is now retired the last 4. Diaz flied out to right in his first at bat as Bello was going downstairs on the outside corner, unsuccessful. Last year, Diaz was one of the finalists for Player of the Year in the Catholic League. And he has been a versatile player as he has to jump back on that offering. In his sophomore year, he played center field and catcher. So they used him everywhere, and some of that was out of necessity. As Bello's breaking ball can't find the strike zone, and this is now a 3-0 count in favor of the leadoff hitter. The Hurricanes, though, do see him as a catcher at the next level. They're not going to play him in the outfield. And you knew Diaz was not going to swing at that pitch, forcing Bello to regain his command. And last year, Diaz hit .393, and he is going to earn a free base. So that ends the stretch of 4 consecutive outs for Bello and they put a runner on with 2 out. And as I was mentioning before that pitch, so he went from 393 to 453 in the span of a season. Guzman, the shortstop, second in the lineup, flied out to center in his first at-bat. Last time that Bello had to deal with a runner on, he got a pop out and then a fielder's choice ground out to second. Bello right now watching Diaz, and that goes back to what we talked about earlier in the broadcast. 33 stolen bases this season. That tops the team. And that is why when you walk a guy like Diaz, it's really twofold. Not only do you put a runner on, but you then have to switch your mindset to keeping close tabs on first base. And we saw this when Hogan and Wells were in the lineup a little bit later on, and now Bello constantly throwing over to Gaglia at first base. And this is where that chess match comes into play, where you give the pitcher a little bit more to think about. And now Diaz is going to go. The pitch out and the throw to second is not in time. So Devin Diaz with his 34th stolen base of the season. And now a runner is in scoring position for the Gales. And you see Diaz got a really good jump start and got that hand on the bag well before they had a chance to apply the tag. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Guzman, and a high chopper back to the mound, and Bello is going to handle it all by himself. The second ground out back to the pitcher of the inning, as Vanderloo did the same to lead off this frame. He leaves one stranded in scoring position, as we have 3 innings in the books here in the Bronx. No score, with the Archdiocese of New York title on the line on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
We move to the 4th inning here in the Bronx. No score. This has been a pitcher's duel between Bello and the man back on the hill, Giordano, who has thrown 45 pitches through the first 3 frames. Bello is now at 42 in comparison. Gaglia leading off for St. Peter's. He went down swinging in the first. He takes a strike there. Rosario and Somo also due up, as we'll see the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Eagles, the heart of the order. And a swing and a miss as Gaglia falling behind in the count, 0-2. Gaglia trying to stay alive here. I mentioned earlier that he was on the JV team a year ago, but gave them every reason for a call-up, and they moved Frigilio into the outfield because Anthony was the ideal option for them at first base as he grounds one towards second. There's going to be a close play, and it is going to be an out. Outstanding hustle by Malderi to come charging in as he was playing relatively deep in the infield, and then the scoop and the toss in one motion to record the ground out. And both of these pitchers have received great support just like that. A line out off the bat of Rosario, and it is Julian Guzman to the rescue. The flashes of leather get more impressive by the pitch as Guzman slides in safely for out number 2. And that is going to bring up Somo, who went down looking in his first at-bat, and he watches one come in for a strike. Giordano had a 1-2-3 third. Can he do it again in the fourth? He just misses out on that one. Guzman fires, and that is beautifully executed for another 1-2-3 frame. Julian Guzman is vacuuming in every baseball imaginable here at Jack Coffey Field, Jim Houlihan Park. It is some display for his right-hander. And we still have another row of zeros on the board as we take a break on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
Well, I've been working with Varsity Media for, 14 years. When we have video needs, whether that be a game, whether that be a practice, whether it be social media, it's nice to know that somebody understands what we're looking for without asking for it.
We started working with Varsity Media back in 2021, and since then they've been an absolute game changer, putting our event on the map. Varsity Media couldn't be a better partner, and if you're looking to optimize your event, I couldn't recommend them anymore.
It's been great for us. You know, the kids really get excited when they know that Varsity Media is going to be here. Not just what's happening on the football field, but all the excitement that's around it. It really boosts the environment here, and everybody gets really excited for what's going on.
Varsity Media is reliable, professional, and the quality work is fantastic. It's like watching ESPN. The announcers are unreal, really do a great job of speaking to the coaches to get the knowledge of the players, the season, what's going on with the team. There is nothing better than Varsity Media doing a live broadcast.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Moving along here in the Bronx, so glad you could join us on the Varsity Media Sports Network on this Friday evening. The Catholic League New York Archdiocese Championship between the top 2 seeds, number 1, Iona Prep, number 2, St. Peter's. And here we go in the bottom of the 4th with the 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up, Kincannon, Tran, and Malderi. Joe Bello, 42 pitches through 3 innings. Giordano had to utilize just 8 pitches in the top of the 4th. So he can thank his defense for that. Specifically, Julian Guzman, and Frank Somo has been just as impressive for the Eagles. Both shortstops have had a lot of balls come their way, and they have showcased really solid range. And that was what was missing for the Eagles in the regular season matchup. That has been a huge difference maker, as Kincannon was thinking about swinging at that strike. He flied out to left in his first at bat. Bello has been very effective against the top of the lineup. The top 3 hitters, only one man has gotten on. That was Diaz, the last inning He drew a walk and stole a base. And if he can handle Kincannon, that theme will continue. The Gales have just one hit, a Jeff Maldieri infield single. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that will enter no man's land. Kincannon is a center fielder by trade ever since he joined the program. He has been a huge staple of what they have built, and did he go? Yes, he did. So Joe Bello with his second strikeout of the day, and the top three hitters have yet to record a hit because Bello is bringing the heat. And Rosario there to secure it as he pointed towards the first base umpire just to make sure, but there was no doubt that Kincannon went around. So here is Luke Tran, fourth hitter in the lineup, grounded out to short in his first at bat. He takes a strike. Bello is trying to locate the inside corner. It'll be a 1-1 count. As they entered the state tournament last year, Tran hurt his ankle, so he wasn't available. He has been a valuable infielder who played second base, at the lower level, shortstop. They have him at third. It has given Ryan Mahoney some options, which has proven to be extremely helpful when you suffer injuries elsewhere and you need to move personnel around. Maldieri is on deck. The lone hit for the Gales came in the second inning. And the 2-2 pitch swung on and missed. Back-to-back Ks for Bello, his third of the day. Kincannon and Tran, the same results. As Bello, after failing to find the strike zone, puts that on the inside corner of the plate and forces Tran to see if he can make contact. Maldieri, he had the infield single in that second inning that I referenced. The lone hitter to somewhat solve the Bello riddle. But that was still a really good play by Somo, and he aims towards Somo's way again, and this time it's not going to be a close play at the bag. A 1-2-3 inning for Joe Bello, just like he did in the first inning, and both pitchers are not giving much wiggle room. It is a scoreless tie here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey, this is Doc Gooden, and you're watching Varsity Media.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Fifth inning we head towards here at Fordham. The Archdiocese of New York championship between Iona Prep and St. Peter's. We'll see Aaron Vasquez leading off, the left fielder for the Eagles, followed by Frigilio and Rinaldi, the 6, 7, 8 batters. Believe it or not, both pitchers with 53 offerings through 4 innings. It was an 8-pitch showing for Giordano the last inning. Well, Bello only needed 9. They have been so efficient. Giordano is on some tear here. The last runner to get on was Rosario, who walked in the first. Since then, he has retired 10 straight. And that streak is going to end as Vasquez draws a leadoff walk in the 5th. That is not a broadcaster's jinx. We only reveal the facts. We have no influence whatsoever on the game, regardless of what some people want to dispute. And I will passionately have that debate at any point moving forward. Frigilio popped out to short in the 2nd. The last 3 hitters in the lineup have not made contact, and they're going to say that Vasquez got back to first in time. The Iona Prep faithful thought otherwise. Vasquez, 21 stolen bases this season, so you can understand why Giordano is quite occupied. Just like Iona Prep, the Eagles have plenty of strong base runners. Gaglia's stolen 20 as this one is popped up off a bunt attempt and fortunately will drop foul.
Everybody clap your hands. Check it out, y'all.
Frigilio, who you can see has quite the frame. He is 6'4", and he can play all 3 outfield positions. He was their starting first baseman last year, but as we mentioned earlier, Gaglia's performance created an opportunity to move him to the outfield. As again, another one sent it to foul territory, and with that 6'4" frame, no surprise, he's also a basketball player, a forward on the team. An 0-2 pitch, and another one that is popped up. And this is going to land in the stands. But no one was able to secure it, and a young man who was sitting in the top row of the left field bleachers dropped what would have been a nice grab by a member of the faithful. And this crowd, hey, these are New Yorkers we're talking about. They're not taking it easy on him. This one is going to stay in the field of play. Popped up to, no surprise, Guzman, and that is out number 1 here in the 5th. And that'll bring up Rinaldi, who went down swinging in the 2nd. Guzman, the 9th hitter, is on deck. Jake Levine led this game off with a single. Since then, St. Peter's has not had a hit. This one is sent deep to center field. Backing up to make the grab is Kincannon, and that is going to force Vasquez to hustle back to first base. So the defense continues to support the cause of Giordano as Kincannon had to backpedal a little to make that grab is we're going to take another glance. Followed the trajectory successfully and was able to secure it for the second out. Guzman flied out to left in his first at bat. Takes a strike on the inside corner. Two walks and a single. That is what is on Giordano's resume in this game. And when you have a 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, the results are not surprising one bit. And the 1-1 pitch. A mistimed swing there by Guzman. Neither one of these teams has been able to capitalize with base runners on. Do they want to get aggressive here with Vasquez? He's going to go. And the throw towards second is going to be in time. Julian Guzman is putting on an absolute clinic. They throw out Vasquez, one of the most lethal base runners in the Catholic League. He got a great start, and Diaz and Guzman had other plans, and Guzman didn't even wait for the call on the base. That is how confident he was. An exclamation point to end the top of the fifth on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
We move to the bottom of the fifth here in the Bronx, and this has been an exquisite pitcher's duel. Iona Prep and St. Peter's have just been exchanging donuts. It is going to be Tyler Wells in the sixth spot leading off, followed by Hogan and Vanderloo. Wells grounded into a fielder's choice to second. That was in the second. Bello had a 1-2-3 fourth. He struck out Kincannon and Tran, and then got Malderi to ground out to short. He has retired the last four. 2 ground outs and 2 strikeouts. And Wells is facing now an 0-2 count. And a quick time asked by Wells, and the St. Peter's fans not loving that. Wells is a catcher by trade. He provides insurance for Diaz, the designated hitter here in the lineup, trying to fight his way back into the count. Bello with the 1-2 pitch, and that is in the dirt. Just one hit for the Gales this evening, and it came back in the second inning as Bello working that outside corner but can't find the strike zone with Rosario. Hogan is on deck, followed by Vanderloo. All three of these batters have yet to get on successfully, as Bello has silenced the final four hitters. As this one is driven into center field, moving over slightly to make the catch is Guzman, and we have one away. So that'll bring up the left fielder Ryan Hogan, who popped out to short in his first at bat. Hogan, one of the batters in this lineup, over 300, and there are several of them. Your Bello, you got to get through three off the top of the lineup, over 300, and he is making it look easy. A nifty backhanded snag to make it 2 outs here in the fifth inning. As Joe Bello has recorded 3 outs himself with comebackers to the mound. This is the latest as he reaches out, and the smooth touch to first base where Gaglia was awaiting. Vanderloo was one of those 3 that grounded out to the pitcher. That is what happened in his at-bat in the third inning. And the first pitch, a check swing, but it misses for a ball. And now they're going to appeal, perhaps, and they're going to say he did not go. So it will stay as one that missed the strike zone. So Vanderloo, the 8th hitter in the lineup, hitting 333 this season and a ground ball foul. That's the luxury that Ryan Mahoney has with the depth of his lineup. He can mix and match accordingly. And as I mentioned, even after you survive 1, 2, and 3, it doesn't get any easier for the Gales. A swing and a miss there for Vanderloo, as Bello is looking to record his second straight 1-2-3 frame and his third of the game. He was perfect in the first. He followed suit in the fourth. Can he do it again here in the fifth? Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it just misses inside. As Bello gets Vanderloo to lift one into center, and that is going to drop in for a 2-out single for the 8th hitter in the lineup. Just the second connection for the Gales today after Malderi had an infield single in the second, and they finally put another runner on thanks to an actual hit. The only other to get on base was Diaz with a walk in the third. And Bello will have to operate with another base runner on. And we're going to have a courtesy runner here for Vanderloo. The problem is he's number 26, and there is no 26 on their roster. So your guess is as good as ours in terms of who is taking the place of Vanderloo. The mystery man will perhaps wreak havoc for Bello, who immediately threw to first base. And that pitch misses outside. And this is what happens in high school baseball. Sometimes you have rosters that can play games with you. But nonetheless, the game must go on. And you can see Bello continuing to throw over to first base. I was going through the numbers earlier. They have several players in the lineup that have 25 plus stolen bases. So it's no surprise at all. And we have solved the mystery, as it is number 0 on their roster, who's wearing 26 today. It is their sophomore outfielder slash left-hander, Ethan Berettervy. And he is creating a lot of attention from Bello. He has no stolen bases on the season, as this one is lifted towards left field, and that is going to drop in as a fair ball. So a safe runner at third, and into second is Ceballos. Have things dramatically shifted in this game? Caden Ceballos, the number 9 hitter in the lineup, lofts one down the left field line, and Vasquez could not get to it. So they are going to have 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs here in the 5th inning. All of a sudden, the final 2 hitters in the lineup, the 8th and the 9th, it was Vandaloo that dropped on into center, and Ceballos into shallow left. So we've got Berettervy at third, and Ceballos at second. And that is going to bring up the top of the order, Devin Diaz, who drew a walk and stole a base in the 3rd inning. He flied out to right in his first at-bat. And this is the guy you want in the box, a .453 average. The Miami Hurricanes anxious to get a hold of his talents, and he could be the hero here in breaking open a scoreless drought. And the 1-0 pitch is chopped foul, as it also got a piece of him. So Diaz is now going to have to try to walk this off and regroup so he can resume his at-bat. And Diaz is a fast healer, took a few steps, and will go back to work here. So 2 on with 2 outs here in the 5th inning. And the 1-1 pitch nearly hits Diaz, and he is shaken up, holding his nose, and the coaching staff is going to come out to attend to him. There has been no official signal that it actually hit him and that he is going to take first base, and now actually they are signaling that he can head to first base. So whether it grazed him or not, we can continue the debate, but either way, it is going to be bases loaded for the Gales, as Diaz hit by a pitch. And here is another look, though. I don't know if we're going to be able to solve it there, as he jumped back immediately and grabbed his nose. So the umpire felt it grazed him, and you could see at first base he's still a little shaken up. Berettervy is at third. Ceballos is at second. Diaz is at first. And Julian Guzman, who has done a marvelous job in the field at short, takes the first pitch and sends it to foul territory. He's 0 for 2 today. He flied out to center. He grounded out to Bello. Cannon is on deck if Guzman can get aboard. A .442 hitter this season. And he takes a strike. So Joe Bello, who has silenced the Gales lineup, is now a strike away from wrapping up the 5th and escaping his biggest challenge thus far today. And Guzman is going to have some time to think about it. Bello came into today with a sub-1 ERA. Can he maintain those numbers? And Rosario doing a really nice job blocking that and preventing it from getting by. Or else Beretta Verde was going to take off from third. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and a fly ball towards the gap in left center, and it's going to drop in. One run already comes in to score. Another will follow. The third slides in safely, and maybe a run down here, and they are going to record the out at third as Guzman running in to no man's land, but still he clears the bases with a connection that drops in to left center, and this scoreless drought is over. As we take another look, it was Vasquez and Guzman who were not on the same page, so Beretta Verde, Ceballos, and Diaz all score, and then Guzman tries to get aggressive. He's tagged out at third, but already did plenty of damage as Iona Prep up 3-0 here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media @Varsity Media.
Iona Prep taking a 3-0 lead over St. Peter's, as there was an opportunity for perhaps a fly ball to be caught out in left center, but Vasquez and Guzman were not on the same page. And Julian Guzman's connection dropping in, a bases clearing two-bagger. He was then thrown out at third, and now Giordano has some wiggle room and cushion to work with as we move to the top of the 6th inning. And it is going to be the 9th hitter in the lineup. Guzman leading off, who was involved in that mishap out in the outfield, but the ball never touched either one of the outfielders. And a ground ball right back to the diving Giordano, and unable to be handled off the backhand by Malderi. So that is going to roll in to the outfield, and St. Peter's gets the leadoff runner aboard. So it's going to be ruled a base hit as the ball caromed off the mound, and it would have been a difficult play for Malderi to make regardless. Vasquez had drawn a leadoff walk in the 5th. He was then caught stealing. So here we go again. The Eagles again put the leadoff runner on. Levine in the box. Bello to follow. Levine is 1 for 2. He singled to lead off the game. He went down looking in the 3rd. And he swings and misses. And then a fire to first. But it's not going to get Guzman, who is able to head back to the bag. Levine taking his time as he looks to capitalize with a runner on. Came into today hitting .367. And he is patiently waiting for an offering that he likes. Levine committed to Utica University. A really solid season for him, and a ground ball to short. Guzman's going to step on the bag at second, fire to first, and it is an unassisted double play there, as Guzman did not need help getting to the bag at second. 6-3. What has Julian Guzman not done in this game? That is the question, as he says to Malderi, move out of the way because I am going to handle it myself. And Bello now does not have a runner to work with. He grounded into a fielder's choice to short at first and then grounded out to short in the third. So he is looking for his first connection and trying to help his own cause. It has been outstanding defense for the Gales, specifically at that shortstop position. So Guzman has been involved in 8 outs in this game. That is how active he's been. As this fly ball is lifted into left field, where Ryan Hogan secures it and ends the top of the 6th inning. And look at the round of applause, handshakes and pounds from the Gales, greeting the outfielders and the infielders who have been doing all the heavy lifting for Giordano, including Julian Guzman. The 6-3 double play to wipe out a pair. We head to the bottom of the 6th with Iona Prep up by 3 on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Bottom of the 6th inning here at Fordham in the Bronx, and this has been an entertaining game with pitching and defense on full display, but Iona Prep did break through with Julian Guzman driving in 3 with a double that dropped into the gap in left center field. And it is Joe Bello who is looking to keep his team within striking distance, as Kincannon leading off, followed by Tran and Malderi. Kincannon is 0 for 2. He flied out to left, and he went down swinging in the 4th. Bello threw 22 pitches in the last inning when he got into trouble and the bases were loaded. So 31 pitches in the last 2 frames combined for him. To put things in perspective, Giordano has thrown 34 in the last 3. So you can see that Giordano is ahead pace-wise with the pitch count. Both are in the 70s. Bello, though, when this is through, is going to head into the 80s, if not more. And both coaches are more than confident in riding their arms. But it was a huge development in the 5th inning to give Giordano 3 runs and take advantage of the bases loaded. It'll be a payoff pitch here to Kincannon. Bello has struck out 3 in this game. Can he make it 4? A high fly ball into right field. Coming in to make the catch is Fragilio. And there is one away in the 6th.
The third baseman, number 9, Luke Tran.
Tran is 0 for 2 as well. Grounded out to short. He struck out right after Kincannon in the 4th. Julian Guzman is putting his stamp all over this game. He has recorded or been involved in 8 outs, as I mentioned, in the top of this inning, and then he's responsible for driving in the 3 runs. Not to take anything away from Giordano, but where would he be without the services of Guzman? And you can say the same thing about St. Peter's, thanks to the second effort by Bello to lean back and snag it out of thin air for yet another out recorded by the right-hander. And that is definitely worth another look. Malderi grounded out to short in his last at-bat in the 4th. He had an infield single in the 2nd. And the first pitch, a swing and a miss for strike 1. If he gets on, we'll see Tyler Wells, 6th hitter in the lineup. Bello looking for another 1-2-3 frame. Lofted into foul territory and coming over from third to make the catch is none other than Levine, as that is going to be another 1-2-3 frame for Joe Bello. He bounces back after 3 runs scored in the previous frame, and it stays a 3-0 game with 6 in the books on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
Well, I've been working with Varsity Media for, 14 years. When we have video needs, whether that be a game, whether that be a practice, whether it be social media, it's nice to know that somebody understands what we're looking for without asking for it.
We started working with Varsity Media back in 2021, and since then they've been an absolute game changer, putting our event on the map. Varsity Media couldn't be a better partner, and if you're looking to optimize your event, I couldn't recommend them anymore.
It's been great for us. You know, the kids really get excited when they know that Varsity Media is going to be here. Not just what's happening on the football field, but all the excitement that's around it. It really boosted the environment here, and everybody gets really excited for what's going on.
Varsity Media is reliable, professional, and their quality work is fantastic. It's like watching ESPN. The announcers are unreal, really do a great job of speaking to the coaches to get the knowledge of the players, the season, what's going on with the team. There is nothing better than Varsity Media doing a live broadcast.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Top of the 7th inning here at Fordham in the Bronx, with Iona Prep 3 outs away from securing the Archdiocese of New York championship. The number 1 seed leaning on Giordano, who has been on point. A ground ball up the middle. Malderi has a chance, and the throw is not on time, and it is an infield single for Gaglia. His first connection of the day after striking out and grounding out to second. And here you see Malderi cutting off his own teammate Julian Guzman, who you know was itching to be involved in another out, given how this game is played out. But instead, it is going to be Gaglia that got the better of the 2. And that pitch airmailed over the head of Rosario. Rosario walked in the 1st, lined out to short in the 4th. And now he will head over Diaz to chat with his battery mate. Giordano looking to add an exclamation point to a complete game performance. But he's got a base runner to deal with. And an offering that is in for a strike. Somo is on deck. Rosario down to his final strike. As the Eagles desperately looking for a late rally here. They have only had 2 hits in this game. Excuse me, make that 3 hits. As the third one was courtesy of Gaglia here in the 7th. Levine led off the game with a base hit, and then Kevin Guzman had one in the 6th inning. That's it. He has scattered 3 singles. As we see Diaz and Giordano maybe not necessarily on the same page, so they're trying to straighten out the strategy here to Rosario, who is looking to keep this at bat alive. The .262 hitter coming in. Who has done a really good job with the pitching staff this season, and he is working this count. He was a DH last year as he was stuck behind the 3-year starter, but intra-squad games showed the coaching staff he's the real deal to get the main job this season, and he has now fought his way back into the count. It is a payoff pitch coming to the cleanup hitter for the Eagles, who have 1 on with nobody out. And a line drive into the gap in left center field. That is going to drop in for a hit. Gaglia heading to third, and he is out. They get the leadoff runner. A bullet after the connection from Rosario. Thought maybe they could get the first run of the game, and it was Kincannon that had other plans as he is able to hook up with Tran for the out at third, and a golden opportunity that closes quickly for St. Peter's with 1 away here in the 7th. Rosario got one of the cleanest connections on Giordano today, and they cannot capitalize because, again, excellent defense. Kincannon quickly gets to it, and then how about the effort by Tran, who had to bring it over from his glove side with his left hand and then apply the tag towards the right side of the bag, made a very quick adjustment. There are not enough vocabulary words to describe how impressive the defense has been all around for Iona Prep. And if you are Gianluca Giordano, you're going to have to make sure you pat all those guys on the back, because they have been just as responsible for this pitching gem. So Rosario did get to second on the throw. So he is in scoring position for Somo, who's 0 for 2. He went down looking in the first. He grounded out to short in the 4th. And Somo cannot make contact. He is down to his final strike. Gianluca has struck out 4 in this game. He has not K'd a hitter since the 3rd. And it is going to stay like that for the time being. Vasquez is on deck. Somo, the 5th hitter in the lineup. Grounds one, foul towards third. He is heading to Dominican University. So he and Rosario, who coincidentally is on base, they're going to be rooming together at the next level. Somo also is a two-way player. He serves as the closer, as he had to react quickly to that one. And the coaching staff just loves his competitiveness. He's not your prototypical shortstop, but he has assumed that job and he has excelled as a result. A payoff pitch coming to Somo with a runner on second and one out. And a line drive that bounces towards Guzman. He's going to throw to third. And did they apply the tag? Yes, they did. Luke Tran recording his second out of the frame, as again they wipe out the leadoff runner, and it is Guzman that makes another heads-up play, and then Tran tells Rosario, not on my watch. And the Eagles are down to their final out. Vasquez, he grounded out to short and he walked. He was caught stealing after getting the free base. That was in the 5th inning. And that one just misses outside. So Vasquez jumping ahead of the count. Another basketball player who you see has tremendous size at 6'5". But can he bring the power here and extend this game? As we see, there are relievers warming up for Iona Prep. But if Ryan Mahoney has his choice, he's going to stick with Giordano. And that is why, because he fires back with a strike. He's at 99 pitches on the day. Here comes the century mark and a 2-2 count. And this one is lifted into foul territory. So that is why we saw the relievers warming up, because the coaching staff aware that he's in triple digits. He needs one more strike to finish this game. They are on their feet here in the stands at Fordham. And that misses. The throw to first is not in time. And Somo dives back to the bag, and we're going to have a bit of a chat here. As I guess maybe they're arguing the bag was blocked and did not allow Somo to get back cleanly, as we see Vandeloo having a conversation with a member of the umpiring crew, and then he now looks back at Malderi at second. Not sure if maybe words were exchanged of some sort, trying to calm everybody down as the intensity is rising here in the Bronx with the Archdiocese of New York championship on the line between St. Peter's and Iona Prep. The payoff pitch to Vasquez and a ground ball to short. Guzman is there, fires across the diamond, and that is going to do it as the celebration is underway. Iona Prep victorious, shutting out St. Peter's 3-0 behind a remarkable performance from Gianluca Giordano. Here is the last out of the game that secures the 2026 Archdiocese of New York championship. The #1 seed lives up to expectations and they will now turn their attention to a city title in hoping to defend their state championship from a year ago. What a scene here in the Bronx as everybody came out to take part in the festivities, and right in the center of it was Giordano and Julian Guzman, who put this team on his shoulders at shortstop and was responsible for driving in all 3 runs in this game. The difference maker was the double. It came in the 5th. He ultimately was gunned down at 3rd, but he dropped it into the gap in left center. It was Vasquez and Guzman, and this is the play where you're going to see both of them coming in, and it was almost as if one thought the other was going to handle it, and it just fell through. 3 runs came in to score, and then they got Guzman in the rundown with Rosario throwing over towards second. They applied the tag, but that was well after he cleared the bases and put his team in front 3-0, as they will have the trophy presentation coming up here at Fordham University, Jim Houlihan Park, Jack Coffey Field, the site of the Archdiocese Championship here in 2026. Talking with Ryan Mahoney coming into this game, I asked him the mindset of the team and how hungry they were to get back to the States. And he said, well, they certainly have that on their radar, but they're actually still disappointed that they didn't rise to the occasion in the city championship. So they feel as if there's a bit of unfinished business that they had from a year ago, even though they did win the state championship. So Ryan Mahoney and his team will now come out, and their 2 captains will accept the trophy. As we see Devin Diaz holding it up. Iona Prep now is going to share it with the crowd as everybody hyped up here in the Bronx as they conquer the CHSAA Archdiocese of New York Championship. And that is going to wrap up our coverage here in the Bronx. It was a pitcher's duel, but it ended up in favor of the Gales. Our executive producer, Ben Turchin, technical director, Chris Sweeney, camera operator, Pablo Pachucho. I'm Lance Meadows saying so long from Fordham University, where Iona Prep blanks St. Peter's 3-0 on the Varsity Media Sports Network.